Hi Burb Squad, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ryann. This is Pupples, my Quaker parrot, and Yoshi, my yellow-side green-cheeked parakeet, also known as a Conure. Sorry for the setup. My family are actually in the process of moving and selling our house. So it looks pretty bare right now, and me being the professional YouTuber that I am, put all of my setup in storage. We're down to this very bare setup and that atrocious, pitiful excuse of a lamp back there. So sorry, but at least my birds are beautiful, so there's that. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys my green-cheeked parakeet starter pack. I know a lot of you are probably just passing through and you're wanting to know like every essential that you need when getting your green-cheeked parakeet. And I like doing these type of videos I've been doing recently because I feel like it's straight to the point. This is what you need. Here you go. And this is no different in this video, so I want to just go ahead and fly on in to the video. The number one thing that you need, obviously, the bird. I will first off say that you probably heard this already from myself or another parrot YouTuber, but avoid the ones from Petco, Petland, and all the other chain stores. I know we've all repeated ourselves 10 million times saying this, but it's very important that you know exactly where your bird has come from. Unfortunately, a lot of birds from those chain pet stores have come from bird mills, and you know how I feel about the bird mills. And also, be careful with your local pet stores too. It's not just the chain ones. I hate to hound just always hating on Petco. There's some also shady local pet stores too. I'm very lucky that I have one that I go to a lot and I trust them. I know where their birds come from. So it's just very important that in general, as a whole, you know where your bird came from. You know its veterinary records. You know that this bird was well taken care of and it's been socialized and it's been on a diet not only based on seeds. I recommend, obviously, I'm going to recommend, you check out a rescue center near you. You look on Pet Finder, you find a green-cheeked conure that is needing rehomed. Conures are one of the most rehomed types of parrots out there, and that is including green cheeks. If you're not looking to adopt, or for whatever reason in your mind you just don't feel necessary to, you could check out bird breeders. Of course, always read the reviews of the aviaries because let's face it, you guys, there are shady local stores, there are shady breeders, there are shady parrot rescues. There's just a shady people in a shady world. Make sure you know as much information about that bird as possible before you purchase or adopt or whatever you're planning on doing. But those are my recommendations and some thoughts, to stay away from. 2 is the cage. I will obviously always have some links in my description box of the ones that I recommend, including the current cage that my birds are using. I do recommend 2 cages, one that is smaller and one that is bigger, especially if you work all day or if you have school all day, because it's very important that birds get the separation from their cage. So have one specifically for just going to bed. Have very minimal toys. I don't feel like having toys in this cage is necessary, to say the least. I do recommend that you do have a water bottle in there, but other than that, it's just for sleeping. I would say on the safe side, in any cage that you get for your green cheek, have about 3/4 of an inch bar spacing, just to make sure that that they don't get their head stuck, obviously. I personally recommend cages that are about the wingspan of a green cheek, which is typically around 7 inches long of a wingspan. They should be able to, put out their little wingies and flap comfortably. So even though I say a wingspan of 7 inches, obviously they're going to need a little bit of room. So usually the cages that people recommend are about 18 inches long, because give or take, your green cheek, may have a shorter or slightly larger wingspan. So definitely keep that in mind. 18 inches is definitely a safe bet. And usually the typical cage that is recommended is 18 by 22 by 24. That is a good, solid, good green cheek parakeet cage. But again, check out the ones that I put in my description box. Those are really good, solid cages, and I personally recommend them, and other people have told me they have had great success with all of these cages, so definitely check them out. As far as food goes, I've always stuck to Supreme Natural, and I always tell people it's the green bag with the cockatiel on the front. It's actually the one that Yoshi has been raised on. It's the only pellets that he's ever known. Actually ended up switching Popples over to this brand and this type of pellets when he was super young. So I've had great success with that brand in general. I have great success with those pellets. I don't put pellets in their cage at night. I feed them different times to kind of implement, you know, in the wild type of deal. They don't have a specific feeding schedule. I do feed them in the morning, and I feed them in the evening around dinner time, but I kind of fluctuate. Is that the word? I include fruits and veggies. In the morning, I'll have like a little veggie mixture. And then like throughout the day, I can give them like little snacks, like little almonds, you know, crushed up or whatever, as just a little treat and a snack throughout the day. Just to give you a rough estimate, I give Yoshi about a teaspoon to a tablespoon worth of my mixture that I prepare. Obviously get a feel for what works with your bird. You may need a little more, you may need a little less, but get a feel for that. And actually change up the amounts here and there. Nothing drastic like a big old honking pile of lettuce, but, you know, fluctuate it a little bit. Give them a little more sometimes, give them a little less. Obviously don't starve them, duh, but, you know, switch it up a little bit. They're birds, you know, let's make them feel like they're in the wild. As far as safety goes, I do recommend, and I know everyone's financial status is different, and it's scary when you hear that number of how much money you should put away for a vet. The majority of people that I've talked to always recommend about $1,000 in case your bird gets sick and you need to take an emergency trip to the vet. I know that amount is absolutely crazy and, you know, not very affordable for a lot of people. I do recommend $500, but you don't have to feel like you have to put a lump sum of $500. Like every paycheck, put $10 away here and there and build up that little savings for your bird. That is very important. I know it's a lot of money, but it is the life of your bird, so please consider that. I know it's rough coming up with that much money, but the way that always works for me and my family is just putting a little bit away here and there so you don't feel like you have this lump sum all of a sudden. And if you get used to $10 being put away, eventually you barely notice it's even gone, you know? The next thing that I recommend you do is build like your own birdie first aid kit. I mean, I recommend that you have all of this together right now for your green cheek, because in an emergency situation, once you see your bird like freaking out and needing help, you're not going to be thinking straight. So you need to be able to grab that safety first aid kit for your bird and get things done quickly as possible. So what I recommend in this box is, obviously, you need the box, you need tweezers, you need cornstarch, or I believe how you say it, septic powder. I personally like cornstarch better, to be honest. I feel like that's safer for the bird, you know, in case he starts picking at it. I just prefer cornstarch. Genesian, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but Genesian violet as an antiseptic. You need a scale to weigh your bird. A lot of people weigh their bird every single day, which is great. I would say at least once a week, at least, just to make sure that your bird is healthy. And if you notice your bird is losing like 20% of its body weight, that's very serious. And the bird's weight is one of the biggest indicators that you can tell if your bird is sick or not. Q-tips, of course, that you can use to, like, you know, get a little dollop of daisy put over, you know, a cut or whatever, like a little blood feather. Obviously, the Q-tips, you can get like a little travel size Q-tip case, and I found that to be very helpful with me, like storing things and keeping things, you know, in a little box. Also, a little mini towel or a blanket. You'll get a feel for what your parrot is comfortable with, if he prefers a little towel, if he prefers a blanket. But in an emergency situation, and if you are freaking out and your bird's freaking out, y'all need to chill and get that little blanket or a towel and wrap him up and make him feel safe, calm him down, because it is very important in an emergency situation, obviously, that you stay as calm as possible. But to be able to effectively care for your bird and do what you need to do in preparation before taking him to the vet, definitely you need to wrap him up. So I always have like a little mini towel or whatever for Yoshi or Popple, since they both are relatively small. It's easy to pack all of this stuff in a box, as well as that blanket or a towel. And for my BIRBSQUAD experienced bird owners, if you want to add anything to the safety box, first aid kit, whatever, let us all know in the comments. This is just a very basic one, and it gets you started. So that's what I recommend. Toys. Yoshi loves shredders, preening toys, and also a foraging toy here and there. He's a little picky with those. One of the easiest way to get green cheek parakeet toys is looking at the baby toy section at Walmart or wherever. that has like affordable baby toys. Yoshi loves some of those silicone ball things with like another ball inside of it that has bells and stuff and makes noises. He loves pushing that thing all over the floor. He's hilarious. He cracks me up. Now, Planet Pleasures toys and Blanca Bird toys, they have very inexpensive parrot toys. The next thing that you'll need to consider is a play area. I have a whole video dedicated to some of the PVC perches that I use, and one of them in there is a PVC play gym. You could customize this, you can make it your own and make it fun for your parrot, change it up. I do recommend that you have this in a different area away from the cage, and I know I'm asking a lot right now because I know everyone's house layout is different, because you may not have the money to give your bird a luxurious lifestyle, but you can give him tons of love, and that alone is priceless. Obviously, he still needs, you know, necessities and the typical things to keep the bird alive, but you don't have to like give your birds Gucci to keep them happy, you know? So just take all of this and fit it to your lifestyle. Outdoors, something to think long term, not necessarily something you need right off the bat. Something to consider in your research of green cheeks and getting everything ready is what you're going to do as far as taking your bird outside. Do you want to get like an outdoor aviary? Are you going to have a flight suit for your bird, which I do recommend that you do, whether you make the decision to have your bird's wings trimmed or not. I do recommend that you do have a flight suit on. Mine, I always get from Avian Fashions. I love them. They're reliable, they're dependable, great customer service. So check out that website. I absolutely love this company, and they're great people. They're great people. Side note, I know a lot of you have asked me to do a flight suit video. I promise I am getting to it. It's just a little hectic right now in my personal life, but I promise I will do that, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for you and your bird, and I want you to see how I handle it when Yoshi's in a bad mood and when Popples is in a bad mood. But stay tuned, I'm gonna get it, I promise. I will get that video up. That's pretty much a quick rundown on what I feel like is a good starter pack for a green cheek conure. I know a lot of these things will fit other parrots, but I really wanted to customize it for a green cheek and what type of toys green cheeks typically like, what type of food and fun, enjoyable enrichment activities green cheeks like. That's pretty much basic. Here's how it is, starter pack. And obviously for those of you that have green cheeks or experience with green cheeks, let us all know in the comments anything that you want to add, anything else that you find will be beneficial for this starter pack for someone who is wanting to get a green cheek. So let's help these people out and yeah, help them get their green cheek and be prepared and make it fun in the process. Hope that you still enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you think, anything that you want to add, take away, whatever. Let us all know. We're here for the burbs, man. So anyway, that is it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to flap that like button. Don't forget to peck the subscribe button down below to become a member of the Burb Squad. Chirp at me and my socials, both Instagram and Twitter, are both at victoriaryann. And if you're a gamer burb, you can follow me on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whew, I did that whole thing without any jump cuts. Whew. Thank you guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, Burb Squad.